Okay. So, um, yeah, I was showing showing what the cross looks like if you do the knit two together way. I'll try to get up a little closer. You do just have like, yes, less yarn on top of each other. So that's why it comes out a little bit flatter than if you do it the first way. But just for fun, I was also going to show you how to do the twist the other direction, which you might need someday in another pattern. Or if you find this other twist easier, then, next time you knit the pattern, you might want to just do the twist the other way all the time. Or, I think just being consistent about it is the key. So to do the twist the other way, I come from behind. So I stick my needle in between the two stitches from behind, and then go into that second stitch like you're going to knit, and knit it, and then follow the yarn back out, and then knit that first stitch. Is that how you do it, Nick, or do you knit both together through the back?
No, I was actually knitting the second stitch, but through the front, which is probably why I'm finding it so complicated.
Oh, okay.
Because but when I do twist in the other direction, I'll knit the second stitch through the back loop and then come back and knit the first one.
Okay.
So from the
like
back
that.
entirely.
Oh, from the back entirely.
Yeah. And just go,
Okay.
yep, exactly. And then knit the
loop.
first one.
Yep. And you could do it that way too. Then your second stitch does get twisted.
Yeah.
But it probably
since
doesn't.
It's the one beneath, it doesn't really.
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't change anything.
Much. Yeah. So that's another way to do it. So again, here, let me take that out and show that again. Make sure everything is twisted the right way. So the other way to do it, if you don't want to go in between the two stitches like I showed earlier, you can just go into the back loop of the second stitch.
Yeah.
And knit it, and then knit the first stitch like normal. Yeah. And then that gives you the twist the other direction.
Yeah. It is a left-leaning twist as opposed to a right-leaning twist.
Instead of right. Yep. So if you, if that seems a lot easier to you, then you might want to switch and just start doing that all the time. Where you actually switched, you won't notice very much. So.
And if you do anything with Bavarian cables, all three of the techniques are going to be very, very useful.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're going to use all three of them because the Bavarian cables are oftentimes just one stitch crossed either way.
Oh, yeah. So I like the one stitch crossing. Yeah. Okay. I'm also going to show while we're being recorded here just how I do the I cord and maybe a way to make it a little bit tighter. But we were just chatting a little bit. It's okay if your I cord is a bit loose. Because when we block it, we really want that edge to be curved. So
you're going to need that extra.
Yeah, you need that.
Because the yarn grows a lot.
Mm-hmm. And you need that extra material kind of there when you block it. I'll go get my other finished one too to show, but okay, so I'm at the point where I just did the cross and then yarn over, knit two together, knit one. Oops. Okay, sorry, knit one, knitting on camera, not doing so well. Okay, and then when I transfer these back, this is when I pull this, as tight as I can, and then knit this one.
You're a little off camera, Susan.
Let's go back. Okay, so I knit the two and then I slipped them back to the left needle, and here I pull this a bit tight before I do the next knit. And then this stitch too, if you pull this stitch out a little bit,
it tightens the second one.
Yeah, the second one, then it kind of seems to even out a little, or I mean, but really, You can't see it. Maybe I didn't do a good job choosing yarn color. But mine doesn't look smooth or all that even.
No, mine doesn't either.
Yeah, but let me go grab the finished one.
So, see, mine is all rumply too.
Yeah, and look how, yeah, bumpy. It looks kind of bumpy. Mine too, it looks kind of bumpy.
As soon as you block it, it's just gonna flatten right out.
So this is my blocked one. Let's see, spotlight, maybe my hands.
Oh, back to the hands.
Let's
Sorry.
do hands, yeah.
There you go.
Because then we can see it more up close. But after you block it, it really evens itself out a lot, and it gets pulled because all of the rest of the knitting, you know, opens up and gets pulled too. So don't worry about it, basically.
So many things can be corrected during blocking.
Right. And see how much it curves, like especially at this end. That edge really, you know, curves around. I'm trying to open it up so you can see it. But it's a lot. It's a big curve that it's doing more than the knitting. So, I happen to have another shawl too that's let me see. In this shawl, it's not one of mine. This is a Dotted Rays by Stephen West. But the I-cord, he uses an I-cord edging. And so his I-cord edging is very tight, and it like kind of gives the structure to the top of the shawl. So anyway, I just thought that was neat for like comparison's sake, that it's an I-cord edge along a garter stitch, but you can see how much tighter it is. It's what is stabilizing everything else and keeping this from opening up. But it's kind of the opposite of what we're going through in this one, because we want that edge to be the open drapiness.
Do you want to stop the recording?
Yes, let's do that. All right, so we're recording now for a little bit. I just wanted to show the two different ways to do the cross stitch, the left cross. So what I talked about last time was, I don't know if I can get this a little bit closer, going into the second stitch, but then skipping in front of the next stitch, grabbing your yarn, and then knitting through the first stitch. So that's kind of the norm. I don't know if I'll say normal, but that was the way I showed last time. And there is another way to do it. So the way I showed you, it's, you know, it's effectively, you know, doing like a cable where you actually switch these two and then knit them. But there is another way that looks pretty good also, and some people might find it just so much easier that it's worth it. It's just you knit these two together, so you don't worry about getting in front of that first stitch. You just do a plain old knit two together, but then you don't slip the knit two together off your needles. You go back into that front stitch, and it is a you know, slightly different. Here, I'm going to finish this and then I'll lay it down and show you the difference.
I would imagine that the biggest difference would actually be from the wrong side, wouldn't it?
That's what I thought too, but and it is a little bit, but the front side looks slightly different too. And I haven't blocked this out yet, so that would be interesting. So here, there's a section, so I'm actually able to pick it out, which is, so this is where I was doing it the first way. And then if we come down here, this is where I did it with the knit two together way. And it, oh, I know it's really hard to see on the camera, but it's a little flatter because you're not bringing the yarn in front of that second, or in front of the first stitch. It just makes it a little bit flatter. So you can still see though, it still like looks like a twist. It still, I think, looks pretty nice. And on the back side, it's really hard to see any difference on the back side here.
I would imagine in a lighter yarn, it would be probably easier
Yeah,
to see as well.
yeah, yeah.
Lighter, thicker yarn.
Lighter, thicker yarn. Yeah, so, but then I also was going to show the, well, I'm going to stop recording here because this is, I'll have to get back.